is currently the world's 10th largest exporter of arms, but is aiming to become the 4th by 2027.
A nation that U.S. armed forces backing has now become one of the globe's biggest defense sectors after the millennium. South Korea has been at the cutting edge of engineering innovation and advanced development, molded by the threat of North Korea and the indirect backing of China. The industry has grown in global exports in recent years. Now South Korea has revealed an unparalleled plan, groundbreaking advancement in air power, and has potentially to shift the military balance in the area, a high-tech weapon potent enough to surpass traditional military trump cards. We will analyze in depth the effects of this strategic move for both the regional power balance and Kim Jong's military strategies. Observe South Korea's rise as a significant player in the global defense market, producing heavy-duty military arms and vehicles, including submarines and destroyers. We will examine closely the unique new South Korean allies, rivals, and foes. The industry growth has been largely credited to South Korea's swift manufacturing abilities, effective marketing tactics, and high-quality, affordable weapons. Naturally, the development of the military sector was also spurred by North Korea's actions and covert partnerships, as China supports both North Korea and Russia behind closed doors. This risk has driven South Korea into military-industrial production. Even the United States has acknowledged the progress has been made in this area. The president of Lockheed Martin, while evaluating the status, admitted that it has now reached a level where it can technically propose a new approach to Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, the world's largest defense firm, manufactures the United States Air Force fighter jets, including the F-22 Raptor and F-35 stealth fighter jet systems. It has also been a long-standing partner of the South Korean defense sector, which has grown from relying on imports to becoming the 9th largest exporter globally. From South Korea's start in assembling Black Hawk helicopters and F-16 fighter jets in the 1990s to the current joint development and export of the T-50 supersonic trainer, Martin has been involved in every phase of the defense sector's growth over the last 40 years. The fact that such massive corporation praises South Korea's military industry, of course, sends a message to certain parties. One of these parties, as we all know, is the North Korean regime, which is seen as the biggest threat, aiming to pressure South Korea with propaganda balloons, drones, and various other methods. But South Korean side has taken remarkable steps to protect its airspace, most recently with drones. Now, we will discuss this move that will unsettle the Pyongyang regime. We will explore how South Korea's new drone will affect the course of events in the Asia-Pacific region. We also assess North Korea's possible actions and policies on this matter. But first, please remember to subscribe to our channel, enable notifications, and like us so that you can stay informed about our content. Let's begin. South Korea has unveiled the Low Observable Unmanned Wing System, LOWUS, a stealthily unmanned aerial vehicle it plans to operate alongside the locally developed KF-21, a next-generation fighter jet. This part of growing fleet of low observable unmanned aerial vehicle being developed in South Korea as the nation seeks to introduce new crewless technologies for range of missions. The first prototype of LOWUS was seen at the Korean Air Technology Center in the southeast of the country. The unmanned aerial vehicle, which debuted for first time, was jointly developed by Korean Air and the Defense Technology Research and Development Agency, a government body responsible for research and development in defense technology, funded by the Defense Acquisition Program Administration. The LOWUS program was initiated in 2021 with a research and development phase. The first flight of this initial prototype is planned for the end of this year, progressing towards the first test by 2027. This will involve a piloted aircraft controlling the drone's flight. The drone is being developed for manned-unmanned collaboration from the outset, which will allow it to operate significantly autonomously alongside crewed fighter jets. As mentioned, the drone is expected to undertake tasks such as electronic warfare and support fighters, including the KF-21. In terms of design, features such as reduced radar signature using radar-absorbing material are incorporated. Superficially, the drone is very similar to the XQ-58A Valkyrie, an affordable air vehicle developed by US drone manufacturer Kratos. It also bears some visual similarities to the air power teaming system Loyal Wingman drone, now known as the MQ-28 Ghostbird. Originally developed by Boeing's Australian subsidiary for the Royal Australian Air Force. Previously, a drone design very similar or even identical to Lowus was presented by Korean Air in the form of artist rendering. After the drone was revealed, the missing pieces fell into place. One of the most intriguing details was the drone's wings. The Lowus features a stealthy trapezoidal fuselage, sharply swept main wings, V-shaped tail, and an air intake located above the fuselage. Unlike the US drone, the South Korean Lowus has an electro-optical sensor in a turret under the nose. While the power unit of the Lowus is not immediately clear, a locally produced engine has been reported, and the videos released so far do not reveal details of the internal weapons bay. There are also suggestions that drone could be equipped with locally developed active electronically scanned array radar. In October 2021, it was announced that Korea Aerospace Industries, which leads the KF-21 program, had won $3.4 million USD contract to rapidly develop such technology. However, it was not immediately clear whether this was related to the Lowus program or separate effort. The aerospace industry initiative was apparently intended, at least initially, to allow drones to support joint operations involving South Korea battlefield helicopters such as Surion and light armed helicopter. We have previously envisioned that these same technologies could then be adapted for future integration of the KF-21 and drones. And this may be what is happening now. It will make a lot of sense for the KF-21 to have a stealth drone as a wingman. North Korea's position is intensifying daily against these innovation measures from Kim Jong's strategies towards South Korea have become more antagonistic following the year-end party plenum assembly. Kim has since forsaken the nation's decades-long quest for peaceful reunification with South Korea, proclaimed the South to be North Korea's primary adversary, and dismantling the Korean reunification monument on the outskirts of Pyongyang. These actions indicated the rise of an escalating dynamic between the two Koreas following the North Korea's triumphant satellite launch last November and transformation in the mentality of the North Korean leadership internally. Moreover, Kim Jong sought to exploit rising great power rivalry, the renewed strategic and military alliance between North Korea and Russia, and the deadlock of the United Nations Security Council is limiting the possibility of international retribution for North Korean missile tests is likely to become more militant and aggressive, especially to the extent that he perceives more room to maneuver while continuing provocations against South Korea with relative impunity. Mr. Kim's enduring strategic objective remains the expulsion of United States forces from the Korean Peninsula and the unification of the peninsula under North Korean leadership. So, How has South Korea reacted to the North's recent actions and rhetoric? In an endeavor to deter North Korea from further provocations, South Korea has reacted, primarily with retaliatory measures and declarations of resolve that have heightened the perceived cost of military escalation for the North. South Korean President Yoon warned of repercussions of North Korea's continued military tests and regularly denounced North Korea's missile launch and expanding cooperation with Russia. On January 31st, President Yoon expressed expression that North Korea could execute a series of atypical provocations and possible assaults against the South, which could be timed to interfere with Seoul's April 10th National Assembly elections. But despite these warnings, what is the status of North Korea's development of its most advanced military weapons, including ballistic missiles and nuclear warheads? North Korea has systematically continued testing and expanded the deployment of its nuclear and missiles programs as outlined in the 5-year plan adopted at the 8th Party Congress in January 2021. North Korea's stockpiles of fissile material have steadily expanded through the operation of uranium enrichment and plutonium-based reactors at the Yongbyon Nuclear Scientific Research Center, the country's largest nuclear facility. Current estimates suggest that North Korea has sufficient material to deploy approximately 50 to 70 nuclear weapons. Moreover, the range and precision of North Korea's nuclear delivery capabilities have improved, and its inventory has expanded to include both tactical and strategic nuclear weapons and delivery systems. North Korea has also codified its nuclear status and stated that it could consider nuclear use as a preemptive response to any perceived threat to the regime. North Korea's alarming progress includes the testing of smaller, lighter, and larger nuclear weapons for use on the battlefield and the development of solid fuel engine-driven intercontinental, underwater, and land-based ballistic missiles. It also includes improving long-range missiles with a 15,000-kilometer range and pinpoint accuracy, developing hypersonic missiles, deploying and operating a military reconnaissance satellite, and developing a submarine-launched ballistic missile capability. The primary remaining task involves further testing and deployment of a submarine capable of launching long-range nuclear missiles. In addition, speculation continues as to whether North Korea is planning a 7th nuclear test in the near future. So, what is the status of international sanctions against Pyongyang? Almost a dozen United Nations Security Council resolutions on North Korea's nuclear and missiles development are on the agenda. However, primarily due to opposition from China and Russia, it has been impossible to reach a consensus among Security Council members on new penalties for North Korea's violations of existing resolutions. The two countries, which have long-standing ties with North Korea, have argued since 2020 that the existing sanctions have outlived their purpose, arguing that they have failed to implement or even actively violate existing resolutions in managing their own trade relations with North Korea. As a result, the United States has placed greater emphasis on enforcing its own unilateral sanctions for North Korea provocations and worked more closely with like-minded partners, including Japan and South Korea, to coordinate sanctions policies against North Korea. Likewise, South Korea, like the United States, needs to engage in more efforts to restrict North Korea's development of its military industry and focus in particular on the development of autonomous and other technological resources. It would not be surprising to see more innovations from South Korea in this area in the future. This is the only way to neutralize the North Korean threat in the Asia Pacific. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share our content, and also give a like.